Art on a canvas carries the different qualities within each artist. Each artist can have a different art style. They incorporate multiple pieces to their paintings, such as focusing on shadows, lines, or lighting. Art has existed for many centuries, but as the years have passed, there have been better materials to work with when creating a masterpiece. We have seen art progress throughout these past centuries. We have seen cave art, oil painting, sculpture, and drawings. Our main focus is paintings, and I have found two artists who created such beautiful artworks. The first one I will talk about is Mary Cassatt painting called Young Mother Sewing. I took a virtual tour in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I came across Mary Cassatt's painting. The second one I will be discussing is Edward Hopper's painting called Tables for Ladies. I found Edward Hopper's painting through a virtual tour in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. These two paintings have a deeper meaning to how it is portrayed when you first look at the main focus. Through the details I will talk about in the painting, it will show how the small details can make the painting better as a whole. Mary Cassatt was born in Pennsylvania in 1844. However, she grew up in Germany and France. Her art journey started in Pennsylvania, and according to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, H. Barbara Winberg mentions, from 1860 to 1862 she studied at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts. By 1865 she had convinced her parents to let her study in Paris, where she took private lessons from leading academic painter Jean-Léon Gérôme, copied works of the old masters, and went sketching. Cassatt was accepted at Paris Salon when she turned in one of her paintings called The Mandolin Player. As she was starting to get adjusted in France, she had to move back to Philadelphia because that is when the Franco-Prussian War started. When she returned to Europe in 1871, she studied paintings, and in 1877 she joined a group of independent artists called the Impressionists. Her life began to go downhill when her eyesight started to decline. She fully stopped painting in 1904 and she died in 1926. Mary Cassatt's painting Young Mother Sewing portrays a little girl on her mother's knees who is knitting, and the little girl makes eye contact with the viewer. The mother is wearing a striped dress with a green apron over it. You are able to see the objects behind them, such as the grass and the flower vase. In an article from marykassatt.org, the author discusses the details in the painting, and they add, "This specific piece of artwork was conceptualized using canvas and oil paints. One of the windows is open and it illuminates light in the place. The light from the window can show the emotion that is felt when a mother is with their daughter. They enjoy each other's presence without having to say or do anything." The article further incorporates around 1890, Mary Cassatt focused on making artworks that depicted themes about women tending after children and children in general. A mother and a daughter relationship was something that Cassatt did not experience herself, but her paintings portray that bond so well. She includes the love that a mother and daughter relationship can have. The environment around the mother and the little girl seems peaceful, and the scene portrays tranquility. The lines from the mother's apron reflect the grass outside, and the colors of every object are bright. It creates a sense of happiness because of the bright colors and light. Mary Cassatt's works on the relationships between a mother and a daughter show how in some moments there will be peace and comfort. All a mother needs is their daughter, and a daughter needs their mother. Edward Hopper was born in New York in 1882. When viewers of his art look at his paintings, they feel strange because of how similar the scenes are in some art pieces. According to Britannica, he strongly influenced the pop art and new realist painters of the 1960s and 1970s. He was versed in illustrated, but he began to study painting with Robert Henry, who was a painter in Ashcan School. During the years of 1906 and 1910, he traveled to Europe, but he continued his career in France. He had his paintings on display in 1913 at the Armory Show. He started with watercolors and oil paintings. Some of his paintings captured loneliness by the light he portrayed in his artwork. His art started to mature in the mid-1920s. His journey came to an end when he died in 1967 and made it to the age of 84. Edward Hopper's painting Table for Ladies portrays a waitress, a cashier, and two people sitting. It takes place in a restaurant in New York City. As the painting shows, you can see how the couple are talking, but the waitress and cashier are minding their own business and are left alone with their thoughts. In an article by WikiArt, Straff Hendrick describes the objects in the painting, and he points out the two diners chat between themselves, but the cashier and the waitress are lost in their separate thoughts and duties. As many of his works, Hopper indirectly comments on the loneliness and weariness that so many city dwellers experience. The colors and lighting of the painting make it seem like a happy and joyful place, but it represents how the waitress and cashier are alone. Also, the loneliness in the room portrays how the Great Depression was happening in America because people did not have enough money to eat out. This painting also represents how women were allowed to start working instead of working from home. These two paintings have a bigger picture than what it seems when you take a first glance. Once you take your time to see the deeper meaning to the painting, you can conclude how the artist was feeling or what happens in the real world.